searching all along, confessing while alone and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping yet the real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter, I post masquerade, hiding both faces.
江ノ島純子ちゃん
What else should I be? Please don't take off midnight, reveal now. Mountains of cold, nothing left to be found. A mirror right in front of me, just where I find an empty glass, reflecting that's a truth. It's the only words that to be told. I need them last. I'm a sharpshooter, apples masquerade, heart in both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter, chained down to my core. Please don't take off my mask, my place to
Good morning, everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? Hello, hello. Can you hear me out in the void? Uh, okay. R50, thank you for that resub. I've been gone for like almost a week.
I'm not playing these games.
Hi, Jazzy. How are you? Morning, morning. I hope everything works. Uh, I don't know. Sometimes when I'm gone for long, or if I don't use something for a long amount of time, my PC's like, "Oh, let's disconnect that. Let's disconnect that and cause her pain, and she won't know about it until she, have to use it." So I hope that everything is working. If not, let me know. 1 second though. Okay, I am back. Oh, perfect typing. DuckTales, please. Okay. Okay. Uh, um. Hi. It's PNG Callie today because your girl has been traveling. I had to travel for work, and so I'm tired. Actually, I got back yesterday. Yesterday. Where have I been? I went to Utah. I was in Utah again. Also, Jazzy, you asking where I've been sounds like an older sibling asking me, like, "Where'd you go? Where you been? Why didn't you tell me?" Hmm? 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 Yeah, I was in Utah again. I have no comments about that because normally Utah isn't on my mind either. Oh, Utah isn't on my mind either, but I only know about it during certain times of the year. And I know about it this year at this time. But yeah, I was traveling for work. Let's see if we got a smart test. Oh, we gonna have some problems today, I see. But yeah, I went to what's the best way to explain this conference I went to? Basically, I went to a conference. Where's Callie's been? Definitely not in the woods digging holes for people. No, I would not dig any holes in Utah. um, I traveled for work to a conference that focused on AI, unfortunately. AI, knowledge management, and learning and development, along with a lot of project data stuff that is way above my pay grade. And I was there for basically an entire week. All right, I think we're good. So today's gonna be a kind of short stream today. Not like really short, but short stream because I'm still tired, even though I literally like slept, showered and slept and snacked all day yesterday when I got home. But there are some things I do want to do today so that I can come back and sleep some more and clean up because my place is a mess. But yes, but I did want to stream today. One, so I don't get yelled at. Just a reminder, nobody's yelling at me. Two, I was gifted a key by the Wagotabi team to try out their new PC released Japanese learning game called Wagotabi. And if you remember, like, maybe it was like last year, or maybe it was earlier this year. I can't remember, but we did try out another Japanese learning game, which unfortunately I can't remember the name of that game, but I do remember having a great time with it and actually getting a good refresher on Japanese because honestly, I have not been studying Japanese as often as I would like to, but I'm also trying to figure out what's the best way for me to learn Japanese because the way I used to learn things no longer applies to how I learn things now. So I've been kind of toying with different language learning apps. So, like Duolingo. Granted, I stopped using Duolingo years ago. There's Lingo Deer, there's Rosetta Stone, there's Babbel, I think. Like, so apps, software like that to help learn Japanese. And I've noticed that there's a lot of teams coming out with games that are gamifying learning languages, which is great because it gives your brain that boost of serotonin. Is that the right one? Serotonin reward. It rewards your reward system in your brain, and gamifying things makes things more enjoyable. And I'm still toying with that idea with learning Japanese and whatnot. And so I appreciate the Wagotabi team sending me a key to test out their game. Originally, this game was on phones, so Android, iOS systems, last year. And this actually 3 days ago, they released it on Steam. It's $10. So I'm gonna test it out. We're gonna see what this is all about. We're gonna see as I shouldn't say like how good this is because that's not fair to judge games like this. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna look with our peepers. We're gonna see and have fun. Ill for AI and having to deal with that kind of nonsense. Actually, it was much more enjoyable than it was last year. I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy it, but the fact that I know what I'm doing now and not having to take over a big project like I did 6 months into my job, it felt better. But in terms of AI, the industry I'm in, I don't really have a choice. So, but it's not like the AI is being used to write stuff for them. However, there were people asking about that, but in my industry, my specific company, we're not using AI to do that. In fact, we don't have a lot of AI stuff in our company, but that may change in the future once we figure out how we want to include that because it's gonna be included. But before we get started, how have y'all been doing? What's been going on? Tell me everything. It's been like almost a week since I last saw y'all. What's good? Yeah, maybe both. I don't know. Serotonin, dopamine, whatever that reward system is in your brain. gamifying things makes, doing stuff more enjoyable for sure. You finished the story of Lost Paradise? Good job, Roto. Good job. Yeah, I don't have much of a choice when it comes to incorporating AI, but it's very specific. And if you remember the industry that I'm in, then you may understand, you may not understand, and that's okay. And again, it's also not my responsibility to explain that to you because that's also above my pay grade. So, yeah. Yeah. Oops, sorry, I clicked off the game. But yeah, welcome in everybody. I hope that you've all been well since I've been gone. I'm tired. I have a headache. I was above altitude. So I kind of have a headache from it. I'm coming back from high altitude to lower altitude. You're 30 episodes away from being being done for a while. Wow. You've been zooming through that series. Hold on. Let me rearrange some things. Yep. Oh. All right. So yes, I know it's early for learning Japanese, but we gonna learn a little bit, and then we gonna nap, take our geriatric naps, and then be about our day. So, by the way, a little information about the Wagotabi team. I meant to read that. So excuse me. The cool thing about this game is that the Tabi team, excuse me, used Japanese textbooks and Japanese teachers to integrate like the best way to incorporate vocabulary and also as well as helping the player improve step by step throughout the game. And from what I understand, this game it starts out with like basic and then it does go into advanced concept. And if I remember correctly, the more you play it, like the way I don't know how far we'll get into it, but one of the main concepts about this game is that the longer you play it, like there are certain words that start to disappear from like English and was replaced with Japanese, which I thought was really cool because that's usually how it's done like in Japanese classrooms is that they mostly start out with English, but then as time goes, they start to remove the English from like the classroom use, which I thought, you know what, that takes me back to middle school when I started learning Japanese and using the Genki 1 textbook. But now it's like every I shouldn't say Genki, the Genki textbooks are necessarily being phased out. I think it's like a beginner course that moves into the newer books that are out there. So like the A1, A2, B1, B2.
江ノ島純子ちゃん
Sinisters, thank you for that resub. I appreciate you. How are you? Thank you. All right, Roto, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. But yeah, I think this game could be really fun and also a really good tool to use for Japanese. Hey YG Cosplay, good morning. How are you? I am in my PNG tuber form that I just suddenly brought out of nowhere. Just surprise, I'm here. Kind of bouncing about. But we're gonna go straight into it. Also, um, I was talking about how they have like advanced levels. The cool thing is that this game is going to be continuously updated with more content so that like you can continue to use this game to improve on your Japanese. But then also, let's say like you don't want to start with the basics. Like I got this down pat. I'm good. Like I don't need reminders on katakana. I already know the differences between shi and tsu and katakana and I don't need this. Too bad. You're gonna go through anyway. They're gonna have you. There's no level skip in this game, so it's like you have to start from the beginning, which I think is always a good ideal to do or a good thing to do anyway, because it is like a good refresher for you, especially for people like me that haven't necessarily studied Japanese, like not necessarily 24/7, but like on a daily basis. But let's get into it. I wait. According to the legend, there are 47 Grand Masters of Japanese in their castles spread across the 47 prefectures of Japan. They agreed to share their knowledge, symbolized by their seal, Hanko, which I always wanted one of these when I was in Japan. But I'm like, there's no reason for me to have them. I just wanted it because I thought it was cool. It's just like, sign my name, stamp. I shouldn't say I'm important. I am important, but I'm important. I got a seal of like an extra seal of identification, right? Just like these real IDs, which is a little silly, but I digress. With those who succeed in demonstrating their mastery of Japanese, rumor has it that whoever manages to collect all 47 seals will unlock the secrets of Japanese and become a Grand Master in turn. One of your ancestors is said to have been a Grand Master. This legendary quest has become a tradition in your family. Oh, we're doing demo content too? Okay. OG-san, wait, welcome. My name is Kinoko, wait. And people call me Kinoko Sensei. Japanese may seem impossible to master. However, if you take it one step at a time, you will see that Japanese can be learned by anyone. In Japanese, 3 types of characters are used together: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Kanojo wa Mari desu. Oh no. Mari. Hiragana are used to express syllable sounds such as a, mi, no. Click on the hiragana on your screen to hear the pronunciations. Oh, we got sound. By the way, how is the sound? Is it good? Does it need to be a little bit louder?
Mi, no.
Hiragana have rounded shapes and are the characters you'll come across the most at first. Japanese could be written entirely in hiragana, but we use 2 other writing systems. Katakana are mostly used to write foreign loan words. They express the sounds as hiragana but have more angular shapes. Oh, wait.
A, mi, no.
The last writing system is known as kanji, which personally, it's one of my favorites. I think kanji is very cool. I also like how it's used in 2 different languages, but then I also don't like how it's used in 2 different languages because then there's different readings, meanings, situations to use it, and I'm just like, what? But this means this in this language, not in this language. Okay.
Ki, yama, kawa.
These characters come from China over 1,500 years ago. Like, in the I love this. Also, I don't necessarily consider myself a history buff, which I'm not, because history was not one of the things that I focused on throughout school, but it's like something I have a huge passion in, like especially like ancient history, but then just like history in general. I love it. Unlike hiragana and katakana, they express a concept and can have several pronunciations. Some are easy to recognize because they look like what they represent, which is true. The way I learned hiragana in seventh grade, because that's when I started learning Japanese in seventh grade. I was fortunate enough to have a school district that had Japanese and not like French, but we had Japanese, German, and Spanish, while other school districts had like either Chinese or French. We had Japanese. And the way that we learned hiragana and katakana and some kanjis, because I think we did like a little bit of kanji in seventh grade, or we were exposed to it, but we didn't have to learn it at that point in time. But like, we made stories up to remember how or why certain Japanese characters like hiragana, katakana, and kanji were written that way. And when we were reviewing it, we had to come up with a story as to like how or a good way to remember that specific character. And let me tell you, middle school boys were something else. They were something else. Look at the kanji for tree, mountain, and river. Ki, yama, kawa. It all sounds difficult, but don't worry, we'll learn step by step. How so? I appreciate this. Some of the stories that they came up with. Also, where are my alerts? Twitch alerts, where are you? Welcome in. Thank you for that support. Welcome in. Hey there, knows you were alive. Hey, Conflicted Air, how are you? Welcome in, welcome in. Good morning. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for that support of it again. Conflicted, I appreciate it. I'm trying to remember a story on how I learned or remembered specific Japanese. So I think the one I remember the most, but I also think it's because I kind of had like a crush on him. And maybe he had a crush on me too, but he was also like the school's jock, and he was also one of the super popular guys too. But anyway, so the way we learned the hiragana character Su, which unfortunately I don't have an example to show you what that looks like, but Su, um, we learned it as like, oh, it's a super diver. It's a diver jumping off a diving board into the water, right? Now, Mu is very similar to Su, but the only thing is that the curve is going the opposite way. So, like, if you look up the Japanese character Su, and then if you look up the Japanese character Mu, you'll see they kind of look similar, right? So, the way that I remembered it is that the guy, the super popular jock guy, um, he had to come up with a story on how to remember this character. So what he did is that he was like, okay, he said it's a mooper diver, and the Japanese teacher was very confused. By the way, there was like a little old lady. This is a little old lady, and she looked at him, and she was just like, "What do you mean?" And he was just like, well, it was a diver that missed the water and his arms are broken. And so they have to move the diver. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, what? The entire class was just like, what? So, but the thing is that it worked because I still remember it this way. But yeah, it was something else. Good morning. You're definitely interested in what you're doing. You need to learn Japanese. You went to Osaka. Osaka is a very good place. Osaka is I can wear a hat. Osaka is a great place to visit. The food is inexpensive. I shouldn't say that people are nicer, but they kind of are compared to like Tokyo because Tokyo is like hustle and bustle everywhere. But yeah, welcome in. Occasionally I do oh wait, no, go back. Occasionally I do like some Japanese learning sessions when I one, remember to do it. Two, I'm contacted by the developer team to try out their game, which I was. Wagotabi, the team reached out to me. They gifted me a key, by the way, to check out their game. And also, I won't lie, I think this is like the least expensive game that I've seen on Steam. This is $10 and it just released 3 days ago, but it was originally on iPhones and Androids as a mobile app. But they just released the PC version 3 days ago, and we are here to check it out. But I've also tried out the Forbidden. I cannot remember. I still can't remember the name of the other game, but that's okay because we are testing out Wagotabi today. But you are in the right place. As soon as I get done making my character, as soon as I get done making my character. Interesting. Look at my little feet. Okay, I think we're good. Emma James Mary. Um, yes. Akira, isn't it? What a lovely name. Thank you. Thank you. Alas, I'm no longer young and have a bit of a trouble with names. I'll just call you. What is this? I wish you good luck on your adventure. Achievement completed. Introduction to Japanese language. The first step in my adventure. Akira. My dad. The big day has arrived. Isn't it strange to think you're going so far away? I too left for Japan to carry on the family tradition. I didn't become a Grand Master, but those years deeply changed me. That book on the table helped me a lot during my journey. It's a legacy from our family, and it's now yours. Get it? And I'll tell you how to use it. Nice. Great. Now that you've got your book, you'll need to fill it. The pages on the table contains Japanese words that you can collect. Family legacy in Japan. I wish. I feel like that would make Japanese learning a lot easier. Hi, Pocatello. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. Tanaka is quite common. Is a quite common Japanese last name. True. Tanaka. Very true. At the end of this lesson, you'll unlock your first Japanese words. However, you'll have to earn them. You'll need to complete a series of exercises to unlock them. This is your first word in Japanese. It's Tanaka, written in hiragana. Over here, you can find new kana related to this word. Tanaka. A kana is considered new if you've never encountered it before. Click on ta. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. One of the things that okay, back then, Japanese was not like a common secondary foreign language to learn. It was either like French, German, or Spanish. And Chinese was kind of rare too, but it really depended on where you went to school. And by the way, this is for Wisconsin. I live in Wisconsin. And yeah, it was usually German, Spanish, French. We had Japanese. And one of the things that I found myself liking a lot, maybe being like on nerd levels, if you want to go that far, is actually really appreciating the radicals of the Japanese characters. Now you're probably wondering like what the heck is a radical? A radical is the amount of strokes, the number of strokes that it takes to draw a character. And for some reason I really attached myself to that, to the point where like when we got to the point where we were learning like kanji in high school, and we had to write it a certain way. But I think most Japanese people are just like, yeah, as long as we can read it, it doesn't matter how you write it. But our Japanese teachers, which I think I had like maybe four or five, which is like it's been important how you write the character. And so I really latched on to like how many radicals it is to draw or write a specific characters. And honestly, that really helped me out with kanji, which I think is why I really prefer kanji over katakana or hiragana where it applies. But the only problem is that do I remember any of it? No. Your French teacher knew French, German, Spanish, and Latin? Ooh, Latin. They have Chinese emergent. That's cool. Now that is really cool. Dare or conflicted. That's really cool. In your school, English is second language. Oh, so Pocatello, what country are you in? If you don't mind me asking, because I've also learned that there's a lot of different obviously there's a lot of countries where like they have English as a foreign language. Because when I went to um Keio University, and I think it's in Kanagawa. You're in Korea? Oh wow, so then Korean, English, and Japanese. Are you learning Japanese or are you learning a different language? But when I was in Keio, I met a bunch of different students, Japanese students by the way, that, learn Japanese, learn English, and there were students learning like Russian and Spanish and Portuguese, and I'm just like, wow, that is really cool. Like, kudos to anyone that is out there learning a second language, or English is their second language. Because, first of all, I know Japanese is hard. Korean is hard because I also did study Korean too when I was in college. Granted, I didn't continue it because I only did it because my sister wanted me to, but Japanese was like my bread and butter, then Korean. And then my sister and we had a crash course in French because we were going to France to for spring break. And I tried teaching myself Spanish, but yeah, that it still didn't stick. But I give kudos to anyone out there that is learning a foreign language or English, because English is a mess. English is a mess, but that is really cool about your French teacher R50. The fact that Conflicted had Chinese in part of their school, and then the fact that um, English is a second language to folks as well. Y'all here being polyglots, man. Y'all making me y'all making me look bad. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, by the way. You can see how to draw top. Feel free to practice writing them on this page. It will help you memorize them. Click here to close. Yeah, I'm gonna close the page.
田中
Oh,
田中 マリ
nice. Well done. If you've already studied Japanese, you may know some of the words presented in these lessons. Nice. So, Mari, of course, this is not recommended for words you don't know yet. So yeah, we can skip this because I do haven't forgot everything I've learned about Japanese.
マリ、まりです。
Well done. Here's a little tip. You can touch any Japanese word in this sentence to check its meaning. Great. See you later. Thanks.
3、
San, common honorific suffix used for people similar to Mr. or Mrs. Your mama? Oh my god. My heart. She said growing up in school they were allowed to speak English. Wow, really? Wait. So like in the Chinese immersion school they weren't allowed to speak English? That's kind of it's also a really nerdy thing about me. I went to Japanese camp. I went to Japanese camp. It was great. It was a great time. But the only thing is that yeah, we could speak English, but if we wanted something, if we wanted something or needed something, as long as it was an emergency, we would have to speak to them in Japanese. I was on the level where they're just like, yeah, if you want something or if you have a question, you need to ask us in Japanese. You can't ask us in English unless it was an emergency, obviously. So I went to Japanese camp for 2 or 3 weeks. And first of all, they took our cell phones. Granted, back then we didn't have like crazy high tech cell phones. I don't know if that ages me or not, but but yeah, they took all of our electronic devices basically. So if you had a laptop, a music device, like a CD player, MP3 player, what have you, your phone, they took it and they gave it back to you at the end of the camp. So you were forced to be immersed in Japanese, which I thought was really great. But the only problem is that we also like had the schedule of like we had to wake up super early, like at 6:30 to do a radio tai show, which is basically a morning exercise and it was kind of I guess that's another reason why I wake up so early because of that too. Shout out to the Nokia 301 Siemens and Razors, right? Right, Yogan. Right. And so we had to wake up super earlier to do Radio Tai Show, which I don't know if we'll encounter that in this game, but remind me if you're super interested in that. But yeah, we had like the common Japanese breakfast, so like miso soup, salmon, rice, and I forget what other like if we had fruit or something like something else. And then we would have like our early morning activities, but then I also think it really depended on like the person's schedule because sometimes it's like you didn't have to do anything in the morning, but then after that like short morning break you had to go into your classes to do whatever. And I think obviously I had my standard Japanese grammar, um listening comprehension and stuff like that, but then also there was like extracurricular activities such as like what is that called? Is it called Kyudo? Kyudo, the traditional Japanese archery classes. And then you also had like Aikido, and then you had like calligraphy and things like that, which all taught in Japanese, except for the Aikido class. I specifically remember there being a white man teaching that class, but he spoke Japanese. But anyway, yeah, that is wild. I bet you conflicted. Was your mama like I proficient isn't the right word I want to use, but was she able to speak Chinese? Oh, so you kind of Diogen. Yeah, I kind of was. It was great though. It was great. I had a lot of fun. And I wish that I was young enough that I could go back. But I think when I did go there, I was too old. I think I was too old. So this cannot be used for oneself. It's usually placed after last name, though it can also follow a first name. So like Mari-san or Jinmu-san or or Emma-san. You can use it that way, but you can also use it as after their last name too, calling them like Miss whatever their last name is. So like Miss Mary, Miss Emma, Miss Jim, or Mr. Jim, Mr. James. But then you also have like um I don't know, Flair san, Hanto san. I'm trying to think of last names. O'Miley san. Like you would use in those two different situations to show like to be polite and kind of show respect a little bit. More so politeness than respect. But I also think it really depends on who you're talking to because Japan also has that too. The way you speak to the way you speak to people will change how you use like what Japanese you use because they also yeah they have hiragana, katakana, and kanji, but then they also have honorifics. Very polite, casual, not so casual, unpolite. Smart test unlock. Well done, Akira. Let's review your new words with the smart test in your book. By the way, after your test, I'll give you a little present. Ooh. Okay. So if you're just getting here, welcome. Good morning. We are playing the game called Wagotabi, which is a Japanese learning game. The Wagotabi team reached out to me to give me a key to test out their game and share it with the community because we sometimes do learn Japanese here or we do study sessions, and it's been a while since I've like actually did like my textbook version study session, but we are also testing out like ways we can learn Japanese or any foreign language and make it fun and interesting. Hi Serial, welcome in. And the cool thing about this game is that one, it was originally on mobile, so iPhones, Android, but then they released this onto Steam just 3 days ago, and it's $10. It's $10, and the game will be constantly updated too. So you can definitely use this as a way to practice Japanese and possibly learn Japanese too, depending on like where your level of Japanese is, but right? Even though I've just been like talking, reminiscing about like things I've done with regarding Japanese and just foreign languages in general, the fact that they have this smart test in here is great. Like I love this. It's another good way to review the words that you learn in the game. And I also did mention that the more you play the game, the um some of the words that we learn will actually start to be replaced with Japanese, forcing you to really like lock in. Lock in, everybody. Lock in. Okay? Your book has several sections. The words you unlock can be found in the dictionary. On the left hand page, you'll find all the words you've unlocked. Tanaka, Mari, San, and dis. Dis. Select this word. It is a politeness marker, usually placed at the end of a sentence. It is sometimes translated as the verb to be. In Japanese, the sentence's order is subject, object, verb, which this used to mess me up a lot. But then when you have your dream, your first dream in Japanese, which I did, you start to get over it. Hi, Junie. Ohayo gozaimasu. Genki. How are you? Click on the home button to return to your first book page. If you're struggling with hiragana and katakana, which I still struggle with katakana, shi and su are my worst enemy. She and Sue are my worst enemy. Granted, there are ways you can tell which character is which. I just can never remember. Like I can never remember. I'm terrible at it. which means that this game is gonna be great to help me with my katakana. Good to hear. Are you here to learn things? All right, you're in the right spot. You are in the right spot, Junie. You can review the words you've unlocked with the smart test. Let's go. The smart test automatically selects the words you need to review. The words you're having trouble with will appear more often than others. Study hard. Come and see me after your test to get your present. Uh,
田中さん
Oop,
です。
I didn't mean to click that. Whoops.
さんさん
さん
さん
Okay.
田中です。田中です。
How is the audio for the game? Is it good? We good with the sound? Because I can see the levels, but I want to make sure that we can hear it. Because when I booted the game up, they're just like, you're gonna need headphones for this. Sounds low. Okay. I'm gonna turn it up. I don't think we're gonna get into battle in this game, so we should be okay, right? The other game had us getting into battle, so we won't be doing that. All right. Also, the really cool thing about this game is that this section here, because I did see a little bit about it, but one of the things that I have tried and I haven't gone back to do it in quite a long time, and there was a point in time where I was studying to do it, which is the JLPT, the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, which will basically give you a rank and where you sit when it comes to Japanese. So if you're trying to like work abroad in Japan or something like that, Japanese companies will look at your JLPT, Japanese Language Proficiency Test rating, and they'll take that into consideration um, when it comes to your job. But there are also certain jobs that require you to have like an N1 or N2. Those are levels. N5 is the lowest. N1 is like you are fluent, almost like you're not on the native level, but you're like close. Like if you were talking to a Japanese person on the phone, they would know that you were a foreigner type of level. My friend and I, we took it. I don't remember where we placed, to be completely honest, and it was like a little bit after high school, like we were in college, and I think this was like during the time I was taking Korean, so it kind of didn't help the fact that I was learning two languages at the time. And funny story, when I was in Korean class, we had to like we were going through vocabulary or something like that, and I said the word for water, but it was a Japanese word for water, mizu, and I'm just like, that is not Korean, that's Japanese, and my teacher just laughed, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, mizu, yeah, I'm like, oh wait, this is the wrong class, I'm sorry. It was funny because I think I had Japanese class right after that. But anyway, side note. Oh, we have a next review 5 hours and 57 minutes, 33 seconds. Wow. Wow. Uh, well done, Akira. Here's your present as promised. It's a particularly useful mini game for memorizing hiragana and katakana. I hate mini games. I hate mini games so much. You can thank Kingdom Hearts for that. You can find it in your book. When you feel ready, come back and talk to me for a small challenge before you leave for Japan. Ugh. Hopefully, this will be fun. And I say hopefully because I don't like mini games. Defend your village for as long as you can. Type the letters matching the kana. All right.
な、な、い、い、す、ん、ま、な、ん、さ、ん、た、た、
This positioning of my
ん、す、
keyboard.
ん、い、す、ん、な、ま、す、た、す、た、で、ま、ん、た、い、ん、ま、な、
Ooh.
す、な、た、か、す、た、い、た、す、た、ん、ま、で、ん、い、た、た、ん、す、い、な、た、
Ooh.
た、か、ま、た、い、な、す、で、た、い、か、ま、な、す、で、
Ugh.
ま、
I don't like how the music is speeding up.
い、な、す、た、た、さ、ま、で、さ、で、い、た、
Ooh.
す、た、で、ん、で、ん、た、さ、た、か、た、で、さ、な、ま、い、す、ま、ん、い、
Yeah.
す、い、か、な、ま、す、か、で、ん、か、な、で、
Ugh.
ん、で、た、
Okay, that's good. That's good enough. You saw one you knew of the letters or the characters? Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Su. Oh, you mean Su? S-U? Unless there was a Su in there and I didn't realize it. Okay. Yes. So they were doing standard characters, but I have a feeling that as time goes on, they're gonna throw in some Su and Chu and Ju, and I'm just gonna be like Ju with the extra ooh at the end. Okay. Hey, Dad. Suit? Yep, suit. Well, it's time for a small challenge before heading off to Japan. So for those that are just getting here, we are playing the game called Wagotabi, which is a Japanese learning game. The Wagotabi team reached out to me to check out their new release. I mentioned before that this game has been on iPhone, Android since 2024, so since last year. And then I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'm playing their new release of this game onto Steam. It's $10. I think that's pretty inexpensive for a game that's going to be constantly updated. Also, I do like the fact that they have all of these learning features in the game, meaning like they had the dictionary where we can see the word being used in the sentence, the radicals of how to draw the characters, also as well as vocabulary reminders on how like the word is used, as well as where it sits in the Japanese language proficiency test leveling, which is I think a really good idea. And also this game will be updated with more advanced content currently. So let's say like you're way above this, which I completely understand. Japanese is becoming more and more well known, that more and more people are learning it, which is great. Same with like Korean, because Korean is still on my list of languages to learn. But this game will continuously have content updated to it so that you can actually really use this to supplement your Japanese learning. Japanese language learning journey. So let's say you are doing like textbook, and then you have classes, or maybe you're doing self-paced learning. You can definitely use this to supplement your Japanese for sure. You was saying them out loud with you as you blasted the swords. It was kind of tough because first of all, my keyboard's at an angle because my monitor that I'm playing on is at an angle, and then also my mic is in the way. So I'm just like, uh. Ooh. All right, let's try this challenge, Dad. I want to make sure you can handle the things over there. By the way, I told my mom I was going to Japan, and she didn't have a choice because I already bought the plane ticket. The way she looked at me, she was just like, "You little punk! Like you didn't even ask for permission. You just did it." Yeah, because I knew you would say no. I would have hopped up with you so fast. It was part of my degree. I had to go study abroad. So she would have said no. She would have said no. I'd be like, cool, right? Let's go. We out of here. Bye. Take me to the airport. I actually think, oh, my boyfriend at the time and my sister dropped me off at the airport. My sister and my boyfriend at the time dropped me off at the airport because my mom was just so. First of all, she didn't really like travel like that, but I also think she was really mad at me for doing it. And I did that a lot when I was living with my mom. Like if I wanted to go somewhere, I just did it and told her about it later. And that all stemmed from me telling her I want to go to Minnesota State University. Like I want to leave. I want to like go to. I want to be in Minneapolis. Okay, I want to go to this school where, first of all, I didn't know if I was gonna get in or not. But then also the fact that being in a northern Midwestern state where our winters suck, the fact that I know that the University of Minnesota has tunnels that students can use to get across campus, game changer. And also, their population of Japanese people is much higher than it is where I am. So I'm just like, let me go. She's just like, no. And I'm just like, you're going to go to the same school your sister went to. Yep, I did. But anyway, don't forget you can study with the smart test and minigame. All right, let's go. A father challenges you. Let's see if you're ready to go to Japan, huh? Tanaka-san
で
des.
す。
Oh, we
田
have
中です。
Tanaka
た
des.
です。
Oh, thanks, Dad. Well done, Akira. I'm so proud of you. Find the Grandmaster of Kagawa. Prefecture in the city of Takamatsu. We love a supportive. I know. Like this my dad. I appreciate him so much. I'm kind of sad because my dad would have been like so proud of me knowing that I was going to Japan. However, the second time, or technically the first time I went to Japan, I didn't study abroad the first time. He came back when I was in Japan. I'm just like, what? Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm proud of you. And I'm like, oh my God, Dad. Anyway, one last little piece of advice. Review regularly in short sessions. Learning Japanese is a marathon, not a sprint. Remember that, everybody. Learning Japanese is a marathon, not a sprint. Which I am terrible at. You can step out of your room and start your adventure. Oh, Dad. Oh, Dad. This is cute. This is so cute. Japan Air. You've been enjoying J-pop recently and you're hooked? You love it so much, it's such a cool language. There's an ad happening right now. I'll speak to of that Junie in a second when you get back. What is this? It's the immigration form. Oh, it's all in Japanese. I can't make any sense of it. I should ask the Japanese speaking person in the area for help. Oji-san. I'm trying to figure out what.
田中です。
Why does that not work? Ask for help filling the form. Okay.
マリです。
Of course. First of all, I need your name.
ほほほー。
Ho ho ho. Okay. Thanks.
です。ほほほです。
Ho 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 des is our name. Even though Akira's here, ho 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 des is our name because the old Oji-san gave it to us. Thanks, Akira. Dubbing. Right, Pocatello. You speak Japanese very well. Let's fill it in together. Alright.
はじめまして。
Hajimemashite.
はじめまして。
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I wonder if we'll get into the Kun and On readings of Japanese characters because G and Z, she and C. Well, technically, I think these are pronounced the same way. I think these are Chinese pronunciations.
はじめまして。
Hajimemashite.
か
Also, particles are my worst enemies too. She and Su and katakana and particles are my worst enemy. Like, I'm so bad at particles. Granted, I can get the super easy particles, the standard particles that are being used, but anything else after that, like, I mean, obviously, like once you really study it and like lock in everybody, it'll be easier. You think you learned a song in Japanese too? You took the time to learn the lyrics so that they were so catchy you wanted to know what they meant? Yes, Junie. That is how I actually got into Japanese. Not through anime. Although back then, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, like all those, yeah, I was watching those. But I would just thought that they were cartoons at the end of the day, but my sister, bless her, I appreciate her so much, but sometimes I do want to elbow drop her. she got me into like other anime that had like openings in Japanese. So like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, they had, English openings. I forget the name of the very like the first season of Dragon Ball Z where what are they called? Nappa and Raditz and all that first season, right? I forget what the opening song is called, but it was all in English. But my sister introduced me to this series called Devil Hunter Yoko, which is something I shouldn't have been watching as a kid because that was something else. I wasn't even in high school. I think I was like middle school, maybe a little bit younger. But um I began to teach myself Japanese using music. So I'm also one of the kids that had unrestricted access to the internet. If you know, you know. But I exposed myself to Japanese well before I was able to take Japanese in middle school. And so that is how I usually learn a language. That's like my intro into a language is starting with music. So J-pop, Ayumi Hamasaki, Gacked, yes, I know Gacked. Um, Utada, obviously Utada Hikaru, because I heard Simple and Clean in Japanese before I heard it in English. Like I started with like that, and then it moved into like the culture, and then like the language. But then, like I said, that's how I also just get into like other cultures too, because in addition to Japanese, I was listening to Korean music as well. Uh, I was listening to groups like God, which I think is Groove Overdose, and HOT, which is like the first generation of like K-pop, K-pop and K-rap. Most people don't know who God is or HOT. I think God had a comeback at some point in time, but I don't. But anyway, I started with music and then it branches off into other things. So it's like that's the same thing that happened with technically EXO. Their Chinese members got me into Chinese music a little bit. And then like when the Olympics was being held in Brazil, I think it was Olympics, they introduced Carol Conca, which they introduced her as the Beyonce of Brazil, but I won't go into that. But yeah, that's how I usually get into cultures is by the music, and then everything else follows. But yeah, Devil Hunter Yoko had a bunch of songs in there that I was able to really pick up. And then there's like music videos of Megumi Hayashibara who does a crap ton of VA or voice acting as well as like singing. Like I think she did those songs and that's how I really got into Japanese before I was able to take it traditionally. I was a garden of words. You like the song Rain? Wait, what was the name of the group, Junie? You had a friend from is there a way you can reconnect with her, Junie? I know I went on a side tangent. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I would try and see what happens. You never like something may come from it. Something may come of it. But I went on a huge sidetrack, a huge tangent. We were talking about particles. Particle used at the end of the sentence can turn it into a question. It is very similar to a question mark in English. In Japanese, we don't use question marks very often and rather rely on ka. So, hajimemashite, Tanaka-san desu ka?
はじめまして。田中さんですか？
Hajimemashite,
はじめまして。田
Tanaka-san
中さん
desu
です
ka?
か？はじめまして。田中さんですか？
That explains why you kept hearing a ka. Yep, it's their question marker. There you go. If you're traveling through Takamatsu, pay a visit to my friend Saiki, the library. She's an expert in linguistics and inventor of the kanji dex. I want one. Granted, I actually have one. I don't know where it is. I saw it recently, but I have one. Also, like before cell phones, um, I picked up a portable Japanese dictionary. Dictionary. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. It was kind of helpful, but kind of confusing. And I used it when I did study abroad because yeah. By the way, I didn't do very well studying abroad. I mean, I passed, but it could have been better. But I also was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I was intimidated by the Japanese professor. Japanese female teachers and Japanese male teachers, the vibe is completely different. And what sucks is that I had all female Japanese teachers. So let me see. I know faces, not necessarily names. Let me see. Who are you, person? Oh, that's good that he's still active. Um, let's see. He did Kimi Meguru Boku, which is used an opening theme for the anime series called Itazura no Kiss. In 2010, his song Tome Tatta Sekai, which premiered as the opening for the seventh season of Naruto Shippuden. So maybe I've heard him. Oh, what is this? Oh, I am not familiar with this person. Baby, I was intimidated. He meant well. And after I cried, we kind of had an understanding. And he was a little bit more, he was a little bit more, chill after that. But no, I don't know this person. However, I will definitely check him out. Apparently, his influences were Lipa, Sam Smith, and Taylor Swift. Okay, let me close that and go back to the game. I was intimidated for sure. All right, congratulations. I've added something to your book. Clicked. A new lesson section has been added. Okay. Your completed lessons are listed there. You can review in my introduction to the Japanese language. See you later. So that's cool that you can go back and actually review the lessons that you've gone through in the game. So with our dad, with Mari-san, with Hinoko-san, or Kinoko-san, excuse me. Smart test. Nice to meet you. Are you Mr. slash Mrs. Tanaka?
はじめまして。田中さんですか？はじめまして。田中さんですか？
Oh, uh, sure.
はじめまして。
はじめまして。
Nice. I love this. I love this so much. I actually do have a couple of JLPT Japanese language proficiency tests books, and this is making me want to like start really studying for it for sure. We are not a Japanese person, so we have to go this way. Can I? I cannot. I'm curious to know why my number pad key enter button doesn't work. Why don't Japanese use the C, E, F, R levels? Let me look at that. By the way, I am not like an expert on the JLPT or anything along those levels or on those lines. The Common European Framework of Reference for. Oh, so I actually did mention that a little bit earlier. I don't know if you were here. So back in the day, back in the day, um, they weren't using those books. So they had books like Genki or Tobita or like a bunch of other books that didn't use those levels. However, now they did move to that type of leveling. And I actually did pick up I have a newer workbook and study book that uses those levels, by the way. Um I wouldn't say it's like recent. I think it's been in the works a little bit longer, but I also think it depends on the university that you go to. Um, the university that I attended was a little bit slow on picking up things, but at the same time, my university was struggling with the Japanese department. Like, I think it was like on the lines of being canceled. um, and so things were kind of slow on our side of things, but I guarantee you, like universities that had Japanese, like in New York or probably, excuse me, or probably like California, like they were probably already on those levels. But just recently, for me personally, I picked up books that are outside of the Genki or Tobita, which I know Captions is not doing a very good job at picking up these names, but they didn't have those levels. But they here in Wisconsin, they recently adopted those levels. So they might. And I haven't taken the Japanese language proficiency test since like 2012. So it's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, I am seeing the CEFR levels in Japanese more, at least where I am. I have some time to practice my Japanese. I suspect the border police officer is speaking in Japanese. I don't want to find myself at a loss for words.
はじめまして、ジョンです。
はじめまして。ほほほー
This.
です。はじめまして。ほほほーです。
Thank you for sharing this game, Callie. You put on your wish list. You must go. All right, thank you for coming in, Junie. I appreciate it. Yeah. Also, like I said, this game was just recently released 3 days ago. It originally was on iPhone, Android, so mobile, but they released it for desktop now, and it's $10. And honestly, I feel like that's really inexpensive. In the fact that it's going to continuously be updated with content so that you can supplement your Japanese language learning as you go. And I've already told you things that I liked about the game so far, and I hope that y'all check it out. If you have any questions or if you need the link to favorite it on Steam, let me know. I can give that to you. Otherwise, um Wagotab Wagotabi is what the game is called. You're really trying to learn this language, you plan to succeed. I am all for that. Let's go. Let me know if you need any help. By the way, I'm not an expert, but I'm just saying if you need support, help, let me know. I'm here for you. Okay, thank you for stopping by, Junie. Have a good rest of your day. Here are my notes to get through immigration. All right.
ではありません。
Oh, conjugations are also like one of my like all almost everything about Japanese. I always have some type of like massive enemy. Conjugations are very difficult for me, but it's not like your basic conjugations. It's more of like the advanced stuff, and also like transitive and intransitive verbs. That is something that like gets me a lot. My worst enemy for sure. Dewa arimasen, negative form of des, can be translated to not to or to be not, to not be. Ha, this character, which is normally pronounced as ha, but in sentences is used as wa. Ha slash wa is pronounced wa here.
はは
Tanaka-san de wa arimasen. Money de awarimasen. Blech. Oh. 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 Yeah, this is a great game. Yeah, this is a great game. The reason why I say that is because I know what these are. I know what these are. So this might be Keigo, or it might be here. Keigo's honorific speech. And you use that when you're talking to people that are at a higher standing than you, meaning like politicians, well, sometimes politicians and authoritative figures, maybe not the police, but like high level people. Oh, I Jazzy, you have a lot of faith in me. No, I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna take it slow, or at least try to.
ではありません。
ではありません。
ん
Usually does not mean 100% correct. Jazzy, get out of here. マリ。
マリさん。
Oh, Mari.
マリではありません。
Yep.
マリではあ
99%
りません。
not true. Not always true. All right.
はい。
Yes. Height is often used as a conversational filler to show that you are listening and engaged in discussion. In this case, it mainly signals acknowledgement rather than agreement.
はい。
Hai.
い
What do you mean? You put that away. Put those away. Put that emoji away. Yeah. EA is rarely used alone to say no, as it may sound rude, which I am. Yeah, this is me. This is me. However, when you are around friends or people that you know, it's fine. But when you say it to people you don't know, it can come off as rude. Ie is often repeated twice after expression of thanks to me, you're welcome, or to downplay a compliment. Which reminds me, there's like, oh, Kelly-san, your your Japanese is so good. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, you're so modest. You're so good. I'm like, would y'all stop trying to gaslight me? Stop trying to gaslight me.
いいえ、田中ではありません。
Stop trying to gaslight me.
いいえ、
いいえ
What? Hi, X-Ray. Thank you for stopping in. You have a good day too.
はい。いいえ、
All right.
はい、田中です。
は
Hi.
い
はい、
Choose the correct hiragana reading. Yeah.
いいえ。田中さんではありません。田中さんではありません。田中
Also,
さんではありません。
what I've noticed about my Japanese, is that I have good listening comprehension and maybe like mediocre reading comprehension. But then when it comes to speaking, I get very nervous. I get very nervous, but I can understand what you're saying, but me responding is the problem. And that's also how it was when my sister and I we went to France to for spring break. She did not have a problem speaking, but I did. But she did not really understand what they were saying, but I did. So that was like we had like the best combo going on, to be completely honest. Like I'd be able to say like, "Hey, I think they're saying this," and she'd be like, "Okay," and then she would reply to them, and then they would reply to her, and then I'm like, "Okay, I think they're saying this," and she's like, "Okay, good." So then she would reply. So we were like kind of tag teaming our time in but we also had people that could speak some English. This was like way before like how France is now. But we also did go during March and it was very cold and she got sick and then I got sick because she got sick. But anyway, side story. Nice. All right, let's go talk to this immigrations officer. Hello. Hello. Can you show me your passport? Hi. Oh, yes.
はじめまして。田中さんですか？
はじめまして。
はじめまして。田中。
Wait.
はじめまして。田中さんですか？さ、ですか？田中です。田中です。田中さんです。田中さんです。
はじめまして。はい。
田中さんでは
ではありません。いいえ。I don't. One thing about me is I also don't like being timed doing things. However, there's an option in the game to remove that timer. So if you're getting like super nervous about like these challenges, you can remove that so that you have less pressure to, answer, perform well. Because one thing about the games is that they want you to do well. Yeah, there are some people that do like challenges and there's some people that don't. Personally, I don't really care for it, but I'm just kind of rolling with it. But they give you that option to remove the timer if you want, which is good. Because when I'm pressured to do anything, it sucks. Welcome to Japan. The baggage claim area is on your right, just after the stairs. Someone left a note here. I know who has your suitcase. Sakata? Let's speak to Sakata. Alright, which one of y'all stole my suitcase?
はじめまして、坂田です。
This man. Scary, right? Who has my suitcase? Excuse me? I found your note. First, let's talk a little in Japanese. Hajimemashite
はじめましほほほー
です.
です。はじめましてほほほーです。
By the way, ho 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 des or ho 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 is the name that Kinoko sensei gave us because he can't remember names. So also like Pocatello said there's a dubbing issue. I'll tell you who took your suitcase after explaining a few things in Japanese. All right?
日本
I'm very impressed with your progress. This is Kinoko-san, sensei. Now you're going to learn your first kanji word. Kanji. The word means Japan. Above the kanji, you can see its reading in hiragana. Hiragana, Nihon, Nihon. This way of writing, the reading of kanji is called furigana. Click here to see how to write these kanji. Feel free to practice writing them on this page. It will help you memorize them. So, ich, ni, san, shi. Pretty sure that's not how they wrote it, but that's okay. Oh, no, that's right. A. Ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. 5 strokes. It's Japan. Nihon desu.
Ni,
Nihon.
o,
You heard there's a game that dubbed 1,300 different names, but you don't. You know what? I believe you. Because back in the day, there was a game that I played. I remember playing. I could be tripping, but I remember playing this game where they allowed you to put your name in there. And whatever game it was would read it back to you or like say your name wherever it was placed in the dialogue, which I thought that was the coolest thing. And you have never seen a game like that ever again. I've never seen that game ever again. I feel like it was some game on the PS2. It was kind of futuristic. I have no clue what it's called though.
行きます。
Ikimasu. To go. Location. So location ni. That's a particle. This is a particle. Particle. Ikimasu. Ikimasu ka? Are you going? Conjugation iku. Positive ikimasu. Oh.
i,
Ikimasu.
ki, ma, sa,
Ooh.
su,
Sue. Oh, by the way, this is the character Sue. So remember my story about middle school boys? This is Sue, so diver. They're diving into the water. That's the head of the person, that's the arm, that's the body. I guess you can say this is the water. Moo is the opposite way, so their arms are going the opposite way. So it's mooper divers. Moo. Ah. At least all Japanese verbs are regular. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how long that lasts though.
行きます。
Go
日
Nihon.
本に
Particle that is used to mark a destination if followed by an action verb, which verbs, Japanese verbs, are also my enemy. Or location if followed by a state verb. It can be translated multiple ways: in, at, on, or to. Location ni. Nihon ni ikimasu. I will go to Japan. Nihon ni ikimasu ka? Will you go to Japan? Will you go to Japan? Nihon
日本
ni
に行
iki.
きますか
Yes.
日本に行きますか高松
Su. Takamatsu, the main city of Kagawa Prefecture.
高松
Takamatsu.
ま、つ、
Great. Here's a clue to find out who has your suitcase. First of all, why are you touching my suitcase? What year is this? Because this is illegal. This is illegal. Illegal, I tell you. Unhand my suitcase. Unhand it.
花さんです。
Hana. Congratulations. I've added something to your book. A focus test. Okay. The focus test allows you to practice specific points of grammar conjugation. Oh, this game is coming from my heart. Oh. Oh, this game is coming from my heart. It's a great compliment to the smart test. See you later. All right, let's try this. I don't know. He didn't really give a good explanation, but let's try this. Oh, it's just okay. Will you go to Japan? 日本
日本
に
に
行き
行きます
か。
か
I will go to Japan. 日本
日本
に
に
行きます。
行きます。日本に行きます。
Oh, that's not bad at all. I didn't mean to do that. Is it you? Is it you?
はじめまして、花です。
Listen, lady, if you weren't by two kids, I would throw hands with you. Because how dare you take my suitcase? Unhand my stuff. Have you seen a red suitcase?
はい、
Okay. Was that your suitcase? Shoot. I just gave it to someone who'd lost his. This is a terrible way to come to Japan. This is a terrible way to come to Japan. Someone taking your suitcase. Oh my god. Welcome back from ads, everybody. Who is that again?
日本人
That is terrible. You come to Japan, your suitcase is missing, and you have to talk to these people to get your suitcase back when they shouldn't have been touching your stuff to begin with. 日本人ですか? 日本人
は
Particle that can be translated as for. It is used to state what you're going to add information about. It is emphasizing what comes after it. In grammatical terms, it is also defined as a topic particle. Ha is pronounced wa here. Topic plus wa plus sentence. Tanaka-san wa Nihon ni ikimasu.
田中さんは日本に行きます。 田
Tanaka
中さん
wa
は
Nihon
日
ni
本行きます。 田
ikimasu.
中さんは日本に行きます。
You just take the wa as be verb. That's how I kind of think about it too. But at the same time, I'm not trying to brag or anything like this. It's automatic for me at this point when it comes to creating a Japanese sentence or speaking a Japanese sentence. Like this is automatic for me. However, after this and whatever else is coming, like this, that's a whole other problem. And by the way, I am not fluent in Japanese. I've studied for a very long time, but then I'm also in an area where Japanese is not spoken regularly. Like I'm not around um Japanese enough to like really utilize it, if that makes sense. Like sure, I listen to Japanese music all the time, but it's usually just me sending it. Listen, Jazzy, don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. One of these days, I'm just gonna take like maybe 2 weeks off, and if y'all see me taking 2 weeks off, y'all know something happening. y'all know something happening. Because I'm gonna put this out there in the universe. Normally I don't do that with certain things, but my goal is to go to a Tokyo Game Show. That is what I want. Also, that's coming up what, next month? In a couple weeks? Like 2 weeks or something like that? Mm. I'm excited to see what they got. I'm excited to see more Resident Evil. Also, isn't Silent Hill coming out next month? Late next month? Anyway, sidetracked.
私
In Japanese, we usually skip the pronoun I in a sentence. It is primarily used when one wants to emphasize oneself or opinion. Watashi. So I don't know if we'll get to it in this game, but they do have like feminine, gender neutral, masculine, polite, unpolite. I think this is considered polite, but then kind of also casual at the same time. Like this is your standard. But then you got like boku, which is used for men, boys, I guess. And you got ore, which is masculine and rude. And then hi Janae. Good morning. How are you? Ooh, ooh. Okay, I'm kidding. And then you got like watakushi. I forget if that's imagine Japanese with the grammatical. I that's how I learned it. Like this is like gender neutral, and then you have the more feminine one, and you got one masculine one. You got super masculine, and then like a polite, super polite one. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm just imagining them lined up. Oh, but I think based on how I learned it, which is years ago, I think it's just more like very polite, casual. I don't know what Boku is considered. Then you got like masculine, rude, unpolite. Ohayo gozaimasu. But yeah, does Chinese have like gender? I don't even know how to like describe it. Like, do they have the feminine, masculine way of speech? Because also, my knowledge of Chinese language is very limited to Zhonghongshu, and also, which is not translated, by the way, and those very short Chinese dramas, which I'm going to miss when TikTok in the US is officially banned. I will not be re-downloading any other sites or apps to replace it, just so you know. Um, but do they have that? I feel like there's another language that maybe I'm thinking Portuguese or maybe it's Spanish. My knowledge is they be sounding dumb. I mean, yeah. Yeah. They are absolutely hilarious. I shouldn't say hilarious. They are something else and I enjoy them. Like every time I see one, if I haven't seen it already, I'm watching it again. But like what I've noticed is that at least in those situations, which I know is not a really good example, but in some of those like short Chinese drama, he is usually referred to as the female and she is referred to as the male, which I'm just like, is that on purpose? Is that like part of their language, or is that just something wrong with the AI that's reading whatever it is, or like the translation? Because I've seen that a lot. And I'm just like, is that supposed to be that way? Do they have that? Someone I I noticed it and I kind of got used to it. I'm just like, okay, he means she and she means he. I don't I don't know. I never really questioned it and I just kind of let it go because I'm more interested in what the hell the story is that's going on. Oh, young girl is reborn after suffering a horrific death because her fiance is with the scheming girl from episode 1 and like in Thai, there's a gender neutral word for boyfriend girlfriend. You could just put I see. I see. You always get caught up in those. Yeah, those are hilarious. Sorry, I got sidetracked again. They're always a hot mess. 私は日本人ではありません. As for me, me personally, I am not Japanese. Though I know you can see it in my features, but I digress. In the way I pronounce things. 私
わた
し
し
日本人
日本人、
私
私、香川、
Kagawa, the smallest prefecture of Japan, located on Shikoku. Wow, we came here? Okay. Okay. That's an interesting place to start, but okay, let's go.
香川、
Ka-
か
ga-
がわ
Okay. You speak Japanese very well. Here's a clue to find out who has your suitcase. Are they teaching you these little shapes, or is it Callie just an X game? What do you mean? Wait, wait, what do you mean? What, Jazzy, what do you mean? Here's a clue to find out who has your suitcase.
日本人ではありません。
They're not a Japanese person. That is stereotypical. Why'd you give Oh my god, my suitcase. Who took my suitcase? Hi, I'll tell you how to use the quest menu. This page contains your ongoing quests. Additional information on given object is sometimes posted here. If you get lost in your journey, feel free to consult this page. So they're not a Japanese person. So that could either be this person here, or it could be this person here. You have my suitcase, don't you? You do. Hold on, come here. Oh. I guess it is you.
はじめまして、ヴィンセントです。
Vincent! Why do we have to play Inspector Gadget to get... right? Who...
ヴィンセントさん、日本人、 は日本人ですか？ヴィンセントさんは日本人ですか？
So, casually speaking, Vincento-san, Nihonjin desu ka? This would not be included. So I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
日本人ではありません。
Have you seen my red suitcase?
はい。
Give it back. Is this your suitcase? Yikes, I must have made a mistake. Mine's exactly the same and I've lost it too. Well, here's your suitcase. Sorry. To make it up to you, I can teach you a little trick about constructing or sentence construction in Japanese. See, this is why I always try to get abstract things so that I know that it's mine. You ain't gonna catch me dead having a suitcase that isn't like customized in some way traveling. I'm gonna make sure I customize myself. I'm gonna also make sure that I don't have to check it in. If I can fit it on a carry-on, that is exactly what I'm doing. But anyway, we are getting into the meat. Well, maybe hearty vegetables of Japanese language here. Japanese sentences generally follow the SOV, subject slash topic, object, verb order, unlike English, which uses the SVO order. Kind of sounds like SVU, but we ain't gonna go there. However, word order can be very flexible in Japanese. The subject is typically found at the beginning of the sentence, but may also be placed in the middle or be omitted. Tanaka-san wa Nihon ni ikimasu ka? SOV. Nihon ni ikimasu ka? OV. So, object, verb, subject, object, verb. Nihon ni, Nihon ni Tanaka-san wa ikimasu ka? Sure, I'll take it. Object, subject, verb. Less common, it emphasizes the object. Do you, Mr. slash Mrs. Tanaka, go to Japan? Do you, Mr. slash Mrs. Tanaka slash someone else, go to Japan? The subject is not highlighted here, but usually when you're talking to someone, you will know who or what the object is. But this is generally how this part is generally how, from generally speaking, this is very common. This one right here is very common. uh, it's my suitcase, finally. Yay. My map of Japan is still inside. Why weren't you carrying that on you? Time to go.
日本人ですか？
日本人ではありません。
ではありません。日本人ではありません。
May I see your suitcase? That's scary. Can I see your suitcase? Should we? I was kidding. Yeah.
え
Yes, I'm Tanaka. Hi,
はい。田中
on this.
です。
Will you go to Japan?
私、 日本に行きます。
That's what I thought.
行きます。
え？
行きます。
いきまさ
う
す
田中です。
Oh,
田中です。さん。
さん
so since I messed up, it's having me go through stuff.
日本人、
に
The stuff that I messed up.
お
Wait.
日本人、
じ
Oh,
私、
my bad.
はじめまして。田中です。 マリ
Muddy.
ではありません。
Oh. Uh.
はじめまして。田中さんですか？田中さんは日本に行きます。田中は田中さんは日本に行きます。は日本に行きます。
Oops. I forgot that I can't be casual and clicking on the wrong stuff. Ooh. So in this game, if you mess up, what they do is that they um test you, or they have you go back and focus on the stuff that you messed up on. Essentially. Which is what I did. And you get 3 tries to do it. But you only have 1 try to do it. Welcome to Japan. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, this kind of hurts my eyes. Okay, so Tokyo is in this section right here. We are here. This is the smallest island besides the Okinawan Islands. Which I don't know if we'll get to those, but they're like somewhere down here. We're here, which I've never traveled, like I've been to here. So th- how do I explain this? how do I explain this? I'm losing my words, which usually happens when I study Japanese. It usually messes up my English, or I forget words that I'm speaking uh English, as people used to say. So Japan is made up of 4 main islands. They have Hokkaido up here, which is a really nice place to go to. They have lavender fields, which they are gorgeous. Have I been there? No, I have not. I only know about this because I used to work for the study abroad office at my university, and we had a new program in Hokkaido, in Sapporo, which is amazing. The landscape of it was absolutely amazing. It was basically like a city, and then there's like mountains on like the edges of it. Mountains and sea. Maybe it was mostly mountains, but mountains. And I'm just like, can I go there? Can y'all sponsor me? Can I go here before I like leave? But anyway, um then you have Honshu, which is all of this. This is the biggest main island right here. And then you have Kyushu, which is where Fukuoka is, if you know some states or prefectures from Japan. So you have like Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, Kobe. I think it's somewhere in here. And then you have the Shikoku Island, which I believe, I need to double check this though. I'm not entirely sure because unfortunately I have not traveled here. Um mm-mm-mm. I'm checking on something. Give me 1 second. Never mind. Um, Unfortunately, I don't know much about this island at all, which is interesting. Except we know that Takamatsu City is here. I'm curious to know why we started here and we didn't like start up here. I'm just very curious. But apparently, um, this area, this location has a lot of Heian period temples. If you know your Japanese history, what is this? Anyway, sorry for that tangent. Okay, back to the game.
はじめまして、石井です。
Hello.
日本人です。
はじめまして。
はじめま、ほほほーです。はじめまして、ほほほーです。
日本人ですか？
Ah,
日本ではありません。
okay.
日本人ではありません。
高松に行きますか？
Why are you asking me questions? Who are you? Who are you?
よろしくお願いします。
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Pleased to make your acquaintance. I look forward to your support. It literally means please treat me well. This expression is used in various situations, often at the end of self-introduction or asking for help. Tanaka desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Hajimemashite. Mari desu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
よろしくお願いします。
Yo.
ろ
Shiku
お
ne
が
い
い
しま。
ますす
You can find the bus information at the information desk on the right.
高松に行きますか？
はい。
本
Hon. This is a book. It's a book. You may have seen this kanji already.
おん
の
Ah, more particles. Oh no. No. Particle that can be translated as of in English. It has two basic uses. Possession is very similar to apostrophe s's in English. In that case, association to say that something is about something else. Noun plus no plus noun. What is a noun? That's a good question. I'm kidding. Tanaka-san no hon desu. Nihon no hon desu ka?
日本
Nihon no
の
hon
ですか？日本の本ですか？バス
Basu katakana. Hi there, you're about to learn your first katakana word. The word basu comes from the English bus. Katakana are mainly used for words of foreign origin. Here you can see new katakana related to basu. Hi, Otaku Sauce, how are you? Basu. Katakana are more angular than hiragana. See you later. Let me see if I can find that I clicked off the game. Give me a second. Doing fine, just chilling. That's good to hear. Oh. Basugasu Bakuhatsu. That used to be a little bit longer. A Namamugi Namago Namatamago. I'm looking at tongue twisters because we also had that experience in Japanese class too, where we had Japanese tongue twisters. One of them was about a bus exploding with grandmas on it. See, I told you, middle school was a mess. A mess. A mess. Anyway, Takamatsu no basu desu.
バス、
す、
Basu.
ば、す、
On
ほ、バ
basu.
ス、さぬ
Sanuki. A small town in the Kagawa Prefecture, historic name of a former province of Japan.
き、さぬき、
Sa. So, another way that I remembered new is this is May. Looks very similar, right? May? So, make a new species. New new species. make a new species. Oh, middle school. It was I think it was that same guy that came up with this new species. Um
さぬき、
ぬ、き、
uh middle school Japanese was something else.
高松に行きますか？
I
高松に行きます。高松に行きます。
高松のバスはバス3です。
I Oh no, we've been spotted by a foreigner. I'm kidding, by the way, but this is kind of funny. It was also it's giving me like flashbacks to Pokemon where you're just like walking and you don't see a person there. They're just like, oh, I see you. Hi. I'm completely lost and don't speak a word of Japanese. You can speak Japanese? I have to go to Sanuki. Can you tell me which bus to take? I need to make sure this is 3. Which one is this?
バス、
That's 3. Oh wait, we're in the right spot.
バス、バス、
2,
バス、
1. Lady.
バス、
Oh, I'm gonna do that. Oh, so when I accidentally did this earlier, this said yes and this said no. So I did mention that the more you play this game, what happens is that the more you learn things, the game will change. And what I mean by change is that it will replace English words with Japanese words. So this used to say yes and this used to say no, but now since we know the word for yes and no, it switched, which is also one of the cool features about this game. Takamatsu ni ikimasu. Takamatsu no basu wa basu 3 desu. Bus is the third one. So, do we just wait here for the bus? or it's a book.
本です。本です。
I guess I'm a little uncertain on how I'm supposed to complete this quest for Paul.
田中
の
の本です。田中さんの本です。
バス。高松のバスです。
バス。
田中さんです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Nice.
バス。
I guess
バス。
I'm kind of confused on how I'm supposed to complete this quest for Paul.
Takamatsuに行きますか
Paul-san
ポールさん。さぬき
に行きます。
行きます。ポールさんはさぬきに行きます。
さぬきのバスはバスにです。
うん。Thanks a lot. I thought we were going to the same place. My bad. Speaking Japanese seems to be a must here. I have a Japanese book with me. Can we look over a few points together? Are you gonna make me late for my bus?
き
So this looks familiar, right? The only difference is that there's no line down here. There's no line down here. Nihon no ki desu. Ki.
き家
Yeah. Oh, we learning big stuff now. Nihonji no ie desu. It's a house of a Japanese person. Ie sounds similar to ie, but the only difference is that there isn't an extra e, an extra one of these characters here,
え
and then also the fact that there's a kanji for it. I also feel like I'm having war flashbacks.
き
with kanji.
家います。
To exist, to be, used for things that can move on their own, human, animal, etc. This verb expresses existence and is often translated as there is. Formation, sentence structure, location plus ni plus imasu. Tanaka-san wa Nihon ni imasu ka? Is Mr./Miss Tanaka in Japan? Conjugation ichidan. Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. Iru. So this is how. So all these words that you're saying in sentences right now, they're conjugated. Conjugation. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, 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 I'm gonna cry. Look at this. No. I am having war flashbacks. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. Yep.
います。
Imas.
ます
Is Mr./Mrs. or Miss Tanaka in Japan? Tanaka-san wa
日本に
Nihon
は日本
I think this is wrong.
にいますか
Oh, it was right.
田中さんは日本にいますか
Particles scare me.
あります。
Arimas, to exist, to be, used for things that can't move on their own. Stone, plant, a house. So basically, in on an animate object. Imas, living. Arimas, technically not living. This verb expresses existence and is often translated as there is. Formation, location plus ni plus arimasu. Watashi no hon wa ie ni arimasu. Present, future, polite, positive, plain.
あります。
あります
私、本、は、家、
Oh,
に、家、
ugh.
あります。
That's what I thought.
私、本、は、家、に、あります。私の本は家にあります。
It was really interesting. Thanks a lot. Shall we meet again in Sanuki? No thanks. I got a bus to catch.
高松に行きますか？
Hi. Ah, I hate. Why are you challenging me? Takamatsu ni ikimasu ka? Huh.
田中さんではありません。田中さんです。
Watashi.
はじめ
Hajime.
まして
はい、
はい
Okay. Hajimemashite. Tanaka-san desu ka? Iie.
いいえ。田中
De wa arimasu.
ではありません。
Tanaka
田
desu.
中です。
Nihon ni
よろしくお願いします。
Oh, I could do this. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Masu.
田中さんの本です。
Tanaka
田中さん
no
の
hon desu.
です。
Hon. Yay, we did it. No mistakes.
高松に行きますか？
Hi.
行きましょ
Hi. This is cute. This is very cute. Great job. You've learned 21 new words today. When I take a break, feel free to unwind and be back tomorrow, refreshed to continue your journey. So I also love the fact that they're just like, hey, you've been learning a lot of Japanese today, so let's take a break and come back. And honestly, I am here for that because I am actually a little fatigued. I will not lie. But how are we feeling about the game? Do we like it? Is this something that y'all would like to see incorporated into future streams? And also, please feel free to speak your mind. No prigs, only cats. uh, how do we feel, everybody? Ugh. What are your thoughts? Tell me all about it while we take a mini break. Mm, I need some water. Because one of the important things about learning a language is not to like overload your brain. Granted, a lot of the stuff that we went through is familiar to me. Some of it's kind of automatic, some of it's not. Like my brain is constantly working in casual casual speak and not so much as polite. Well, it's still polite, but not like that polite. Like I'm not always using um particles where they could be because the way that Japanese people speak is not like the way that we learn it. And that's okay because basically it's more so you learning the foundations of it and then going out and immersing yourself in it and then adjusting to, what you learn, what you see, what you hear, things like that. Which I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. Granted, it was many, many years ago, but yeah. You didn't get to see too much since you was away from the stream a lot. I had to be outside of the house. Mosquitoes, first of all. Keep those mosquitoes where you are. Mm-mm. Pretty sure that's how most languages learn. You learn it in the most stuffy manner. What do you mean by stuffy, Jazzy? Also, let me play a little bit of music in the background. Ooh. I hope that didn't scare most people. You got been done more this morning than you had. Nah, you can keep that. Very proper, no slang, no contraction. Yes, that's exactly how most languages learn. Is that it's very like not very formal, but like polite. Very, very polite, but not formal. If that makes sense. But I would like to hear your thoughts on the game and if this is something that you would like to see incorporated more. Like I know I did say I played another game, but honestly, I think I like this one a lot more because of how it's more familiar to me in terms of like I am learning Japanese, but the thing is that you are learning it in a way that it doesn't feel like you're in a classroom and that you're still having fun. Wait, who am I stunned on? Wait, what's happening? What did I miss? What did I miss? Um but I also did mention that adding in like an additional study day. Hi Kalami, how are you? I did mention adding an additional study day instead of just once a month thing. So would y'all want to see something like this on the additional study day, or would y'all prefer like a traditional? What I mean by traditional, I mean the way that I've been doing our co-working study sessions. Technically, this would be me playing a game, but we are studying. You're good. How's everyone? We learning Japanese? Yeah, we learned 21 words today. The game is saying I need to take a break and come back tomorrow. tomorrow. But I'm trying to get folks' thoughts on including this game a little bit more. The only problem is that it won't necessarily be a constant game, like a like a game that will be constantly on the schedule. Like it may show up like Civ did. Speaking of which, I think Civ is on sale. But anyway, um, I want to put out there that this game was actually given to me by the Wagotobi or Tabi, excuse me, team to check out their game. This is their newest release on Steam. Originally, this game was on mobile phone. I don't know how much it costs on mobile, but this game is $10 on Steam, and just for the 2 hours I've been playing it, I actually really, really enjoy this game. Like I think it's really useful for those that are studying Japanese by themselves or for those that are taking like classes to really supplement their Japanese because just from like what we've seen, granted we've done like the basic stuff, like they are prepping you for like the higher level things that will be coming later. Unfortunately, there isn't a skip option, so you do have to go through everything to get to like the advanced things. But also the really cool thing about this game is that they worked with 300 Japanese teachers, native and non-native teachers, as well as I don't want to say cross reference, but cross reference all the Japanese textbooks that are out there that people are using. So I'm not saying that not any of the other Japanese games didn't do that, but it's very thorough, very, very thorough. And I do appreciate the fact that they have um, the levels for the Japanese language proficiency test in here as well. So if you are studying that, this could be a good supplement versus the textbooks way, because I know that people learn in different avenues. Like I used to learn best by textbook, but I'm learning that that doesn't necessarily work for me. It works in some aspects, but not like completely. But this game is like a good in between, like a good refresher, and then also a good way to immerse yourself in Japanese. And I say that because as time goes on, what'll happen is that the game will start adjusting to not adjusting, replacing words that you learn in the game, replacing the English. So I mentioned before that when I accidentally clicked on escape, the game at first, like very, very early in the game, it had yes and no in English. But when I clicked on it just like a couple of minutes ago, it replaced yes and no with the Japanese words for yes and no, which is hi and EA, which I thought is really cool. Um, because it's literally immersing you. Like at some point I can see um oh captions, which I can see this game like just fully being in Japanese. Of course there might be some sections in the game where they're in English, but I can really see this game being just like completely Japanese, which is good because it starts off in English but then moves into Japanese, forcing you to use the Japanese that you learned. But I'm having a great time with this. And like I said, if you want to see me like bring this back, or if you don't mind me including this in the second co-working slash study session, which this will be, it technically is a study session, but I will be playing a game. I am more than willing to bring a Wagotabi back so that we can learn Japanese together. I just want to hear y'all's thoughts. I know y'all probably lurking. I know it's early in the morning ish. Ogawa Gatagi. Tongue twisters. Tongue twisters. Let me see. Do I still have them open? I don't. I closed it. Dang. Oh, I do have them open. Here are some Japanese tongue twisters for you. I know some of them. I no kaeru pyoko pyoko mi pyoko pyoko awasete pyoko pyoko mi pyoko pyoko. Which means the frog jumps 3 times together, it's 6. And the one I was talking about earlier about the exploding bus with grandmas on it, that one's Basugasu Bakuhatsu, but obviously it doesn't have the exploding grandmas on there. Ever seen the real Japan's bits about Japanese eating? I have not. Is that a YouTube video or is that like an article? Like, what is that? Nyanko go nyanko mago nyanko. Kitty baby kitty grandbaby kitty. Nya. Let me look that up really quick. If that's the case, I may have seen them without realizing who they are because that happens a lot. I see a lot of things and I don't realize what it is until someone's just like, "Oh, did you see this?" I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I saw this." Let me see. Oh yeah, you'll get caught. Let me see. I do see the message. The only only subscribers are able to post links, or folks that are given permission. Let me see. Yes, I have seen this. See, I have seen this without even really knowing what they were called. I have seen them. There's like a few people that that I've seen that, speak about like Japanese culture and whatnot. I do follow a YouTuber by the name of Sunday Love. She lives there. She's been there for like years. And she kind of brings in the real black girl living in Japan experience, if that makes sense. Whereas there's another guy who I think speaks Japanese and Korean. He's a black guy. I don't remember his name, but I do see him pop up sometimes where he's like interviewing people on their experiences in Japan and in South Korea, or like asking like, "Oh, what is the dating life in South Korea or Japan, or what is your experiences from living in Japan as a black person or as a foreigner?" That guy. And then I do follow a few other kind of Japanese learning channels, but not quite, because I'm still working on my own shortcomings when it comes to Japan or learning Japanese. Because I really unfortunately didn't have the support when it came around it, because I have I have a mother with old school thinking habits, so it's a little difficult, and all the pressure that I put on myself, which kind of eroded my confidence in my Japanese and just like wanting to learn it, as well as other outside forces that I can't control. So that's something that I'm working on, but um, I think this might be a good spot to end stream because I mentioned earlier I got back from traveling from work yesterday, and I am a little bit tired. Callie Get Japanese told me to talk to. What's crazy is that I did, but I deleted my Facebook. That's where we were most concentrated. But I just um decided to delete my Facebook page many years ago. Maybe like 3-4 years ago now. So yeah. I'm not connected with them anymore. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me for as long as you did today. I hope that y'all enjoyed the stream. Yeah, I deleted the homies. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Um I will try to throw this into the schedule. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I will definitely be coming back to it. But if you like the vibe, you like the chats, the side changes that we've been having, do me a favor and hit that follow button. I love to have you and you back in chat or lurking with the community. Also, you can follow me on various social media platforms that I'm on. I am on Ko-Fi as I am a part-time cosplayer. If you scroll down a little bit, you should see my Instagram and some of the cosplays that I've done. But all of my cosplays live on Ko-Fi. But also, I'm on various other social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Blue Sky. However, I don't post a lot on TikTok, but you can definitely follow me on Instagram, YouTube, or Blue Sky.
win!
Thanks, R50. I appreciate that. That scared the mess out of me. But let me see who is streaming right now. Also, I'm really hungry. Again, I didn't eat yesterday. I had one meal yesterday. Oops. Oh, I'm gonna send y'all over to Blaze. Send y'all over to Blaze. Blaze is playing more Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna send y'all over to Blaze. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I will chat with the folks in Discord later, as I'll be messing around with Discord again. For everybody else, make sure you follow me on at least Blue Sky so that you can get notifications of my schedule as well as the stuff that I get up to outside of stream. I was traveling, so I wasn't posting as much, but now that I'm back, I'll be posting more, or at least try to. But without further ado, everybody, I will see y'all later. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Bye.